Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. Today I have for you a get to know me. I was tagged, I think, by 3 people. Nancy Rounds, and I love her channel. She has become a really good friend through YouTube. I really enjoy watching her. My blessed grandma, and I think Janie 60 over 60 with Flair. I was in her comment box. So anyway, I will link all of those 3 ladies' channels below. I really enjoy my YouTube community. It's kind of a creative outlet for me, and I enjoy the friendships I have on there. So one of them had like a list of 50 questions, and the other 2 were like the same 14 that a bunch of women have done. So I just kind of wrote down kind of a few from each list that I would do. And I really did enjoy these questions, watching everybody else answer them, etc. So the first one I think was on both of them is like, where am I from? And I think I say it all the time on my channel. So, but Indiana, I was born and raised in Indiana. I spent my first 25 years there, and I really only moved to California because of my husband's job. And it's always been probably a yearly conversation. Should we move back, etc. But we both have good jobs, and we're just kind of conservative. So, and especially now in today's economy, I don't know if it really makes sense, but I do miss lots of things about the Midwest. I think the people are so friendly. I like the open space. So it's been a yearly conversation. It'll be 15 years. And really, right now, our anniversary is the 22nd. So right after we got married, we moved to California. My husband was already living here while I finished school. So we've been here for 15 years, and we've probably literally had the conversation, 40 times about moving, but we don't ever move. So one of the other questions was best childhood memory. That is, I don't know, I should have stopped to think about it more, but I really feel like I had a great childhood. I have great memories of my mom kind of playing on the swing set, just lots of laughter, and my dad always came to everything, my clarinet recitals, all of that kind of stuff, and he wasn't the guy that kind of liked that thing or did that thing, but he was always there for me. And it sort of ties into another question, which was, are your parents alive? Both my parents have passed. My mom passed away when I was 21, and she had like a rare form of leukemia. And then my dad passed away literally 2 weeks before my daughter was born. So that was super tough. And I feel like harder to get over. Somehow losing your second parent, at least in my experience, was just, I didn't know it was going to be that hard, because it's like your parents are always there for you no matter what. I mean, yes, I have a lovely husband. Yes, I have friends, but it's almost like your parents kind of have to be there for you. So that was a really hard part in losing the last person that, is there for you no matter what. I was also bitter for quite some time of why he didn't get to meet my daughter. So anyway, probably going to stop talking about that, or I will get emotional. Another question, coffee or tea? I may be the only 40-year-old on the planet who does not drink a daily cup of coffee. I have never drank a daily cup of coffee. My husband roasts his own coffee, much to his chagrin. His wife, every now and then he makes me taste it, and I taste it, and it's just kind of bitter to me. So if I ever do drink a coffee, it's like a Starbucks, mocha with a bunch of sugar and other stuff, but I do not have a daily coffee. I will say, ever since having my daughter, I've gotten in the routine of having like an iced tea at lunch, or a Diet Coke. So I do have caffeine now, but it's not something I do first thing in the morning. It's usually for lunch. I'll have an iced tea or a Diet Coke. Tattoos, no. Probably never. The one time I did think about a tattoo was when my mom passed away. I had considered a tattoo, but I couldn't think of anything that symbolized her or anything enough that I would want on my body forever. So no tattoos, and probably never. I guess I never say never, but I don't see myself getting one. Exercise, I am an avid hiker. I am hiking all the time now that it's the quarantine, and that's pretty much the only thing to do. We are on, going to like the neighborhood parks and doing little hikes pretty much every night. Thankfully, by our house there was a place with a pond, so we went. When I guess in the past we never noticed, we were too busy. But probably about 6 to 8 weeks ago, we had went tons of tadpoles. Well, currently, I think we just went 2 days ago, and now they're all frogs. So it was really cool to be able to walk there 2 or 3 times a week, and then my daughter got to see all the tadpoles. So yes, constantly exercising. When the gyms are open, we'd go to the gym, but hiking outdoors is definitely my preferred exercise. So both of the lists I think had your childhood crush, and mine was Han Solo. He's my first crush that I think I can remember as far as actors go, which is funny because I think he's exactly my dad's age. I think he was born in 42 and my dad was born in 42. So it's crazy. I was like 11 or 12, crushing on this guy who could have been my father, but I just loved Harrison Ford. And for lots of his career, I loved Harrison Ford, but it was Han Solo specifically. And Brad Pitt, I also liked Brad Pitt. When I was in 7th grade, I had huge posters of him on my walls. So those are my crushes back in the day. Another questions were when you were born. I was June, which makes me a Gemini. I don't read up on my horoscopes. I didn't Google it just for this. In the past, I have, read whatever Gemini says, but I don't really know whether I fit that or not. I'm just not that into that kind of stuff. Worst subject, for sure, math. And I don't really know for sure whether that's my brain's not good at math, but I have 2 instances of teachers that were not good teachers. I myself am a teacher, so it's not like I'm throwing shade on them necessarily, but I just don't think they were good. My 7th grade, pre-algebra teacher, in my opinion, taught to the high level kids, and if you weren't one of those, it was just like she kept going. And so I never felt like she stopped and helped me, or she wasn't able to explain it how I understood it. And so then algebra was just a thing. So I took pre-algebra then. I forget what I took in 8th grade. But then I took algebra in 9th grade, and our football coach was the algebra teacher. His motivation was to put me and another student, or he would basically seat us by our test score. So the lowest test score went in the front, and then he literally did it by test score. Well, Brian Mount and I were literally rotating in the first 2 spots. It wasn't for lack of motivation. I was generally an A-B student. Math just wasn't my thing, and I don't know whether, again, it was because the teachers couldn't reach me or what, but I can tell you that sitting by my test score did not motivate me. I needed to have it explained differently or better to me. I don't know, but math, which is funny because I have a degree in science and I teach science, but my degree's in biology, which is life science. So in my opinion, there's not that much math there. I did have to take trigonometry and pre-calculus in college to get my degree, and I managed to do that. So I really just think it's probably in my head that I'm not good at that kind of thing, but teachers can make or break. Favorite cereal, Life is one of my favorite cereals, and I also liked and I forget, one of these ladies had it on their cereal, but it was like Raisin Nut Crunch or whatever. At least growing up, I felt like that was always a cereal that was like $2 or $3 more a box than the average cereal. So I didn't get that much growing up, but now, every now and then, ever since Kevin and I got married, every now and then we'll just treat ourselves to boxes of cereal. Growing up, I was not allowed too many sweet cereals, so every now and then my mom would get me those little boxes where they had all the different varieties. So every now and then, I think Kevin and I just treat ourselves to like a box of Lucky Charms or whatever, but Raisin Nut Crunch is one that I will treat myself on because I feel like it's just expensive. And then I really just like Life. It's probably my favorite cereal. My problem with cereal, and we do not keep it in the house, which is why I say it's a treat, is because I can't just have one bowl of cereal. If I'm being honest, it's 3 or 4 bowls of cereal, and it's not like, it's a heaping bowl. So we do not keep cereal in the house on any daily time. So board games, which one's your favorite? I don't know if I have a favorite, but I love board games. From a very early age, we played lots of board games in my family. I still have many board games that my daughter's playing from when I was little. So I just like games. Like, it was a big thing. My cousins and I on Thanksgiving or any of those holidays, you know, we'd all get together at somebody's house, have food, and then we play board games all day. So I like board games. I don't play them as much now. Whenever I go back to Indiana, we're always playing board games or euchre. I love euchre. In California, euchre is like a Midwest thing. So I don't know anybody out here that plays. So whenever I go home to see my family, we're always playing euchre or board games. What the one was what your favorite Disney character is? I love Eeyore. I always have loved Eeyore. Whenever, you know, we talk about it, my husband's always joking that Eeyore's out cleaning the closet somewhere just because he always gets the short end of the stick. Okay, I am back. My daughter needs to learn that the reclining couch, one of our couches, once it's reclined, it holds the shape, and then one, it doesn't. So she's having trouble remembering that. So she had fallen down and was crying, so I had to go help her. But it's funny, the minute she started crying, I walked out the door, Teddy was already running down the hall to get me. So it's so funny how pets can be, I don't know, so in tune with those things. So one of the questions was, have you ever performed on stage? I was in drama club in high school, and so I had a smaller role. So that was really the only like formal time I performed on a stage. We also had a talent show. A Girl Scout group I was in did like a little song, but I am not a singer. I feel like I sing like a dead cow. I am a teacher, so in a way I'm on a stage every day, but that's not really whatever. I do know, I think it's been, definitely probably 7 years ago, I had to give like a presentation to our kids, and that's the largest group of people. Maybe the play in high school was the largest group, but I had to do 3 rotations of about 350 kids each. I was really nervous for that, but it went well. I don't mind talking in front of kids. I do not like talking in front of adults. I don't like presenting in front of our staff. So yes, I performed on a stage. I was in drama club. Hero, I would have to say both of my parents. My dad and my mom were very strong and always worked really hard and got through things. And I feel like I just had a blessed childhood. I'm so blessed to have them as parents. So definitely I would say both of them have gotten me where I am today and, you know, taught me how to be a good person. Favorite color, lavender. I love lavender. Any color of purple really, but lavender is my favorite. One of the questions, do you drink? That's another. I don't drink coffee, and I don't drink alcohol on a regular basis. I am not opposed to it. My family in Indiana, especially my cousins, give me lots of crap over that. I might have 3 or 4 drinks a year, but that is generally because we're at a situation where I feel like I have to have one, or like I said, my cousins in Indiana are giving me a hard time. But half the time, if like say we're out for our anniversary and I get a drink, I take 2 sips and I give it to my husband. So I don't drink at all very often. Glasses, I used to wear glasses. I had glasses starting in 8th grade. I got LASIK maybe 3-ish years ago. So I got LASIK. Both my husband and I got LASIK. I think we both have astigmatism. He, I would say, came out with clearer vision, but I still, I see 20/20. His went right away. I had about 3 months where my vision was so-so before it got crystal clear. But I really liked LASIK, and so I recommend it so far. Favorite flower. So I have a lot of that revolves around my dad in Indiana. Both my parents had green thumbs, were planting. So irises is one of my favorite flowers. We had tons of irises. My dad was always getting the catalog with the different bulbs. I have tried. I ordered some bulbs and I planted them probably 3 years ago, literally. And then last year we had one of the plants finally bloom. I think it gave us 3 or 4 flowers. I loved it. I felt like my dad had come back to say hi. And then I don't know, like in Indiana anyway, they just stay and they keep producing more and more year after year. And I don't know whether I don't know how to tend to them. But anyway, the plant sort of disintegrated and went away. It did not come back this year. And then at the same time, like I said, 3 years ago, I planted these bulbs, and we have one right now. I'm pointing to the window, and it came, and it looks like it's going to give us 3 or 4 really pretty flowers. So I feel just blessed to have that. Our soil is very clay and doesn't drain very well, so that could be it. So I love irises. We had a lilac bush growing up in my house. I lived in the same house for all the 25 years. So I love the smell of lilac. I love them. So a lot of my favorite flowers stem around my parents' house and the flowers that they planted. Let's see, the last two I'll do music. Music, I am all over the place. I am very eclectic. I mean, literally, I like some classical pieces. I love like Phantom of the Opera. My uncle and my mom kind of got me hooked on that when I was a freshman. But I like a little bit of rap, a little bit of country, and the rap just kind of tends from high school. So I literally like anything. I went through a phase in junior high of Elvis. My mom had some of his records, and I liked watching his movies. So I literally like anything from rap to Elvis to country to modern, Lady Gaga and things like that. So I am all over the place when it comes to music. At this point, I'm kind of going back to country roots. Growing up, I had really no choice but to listen to country. That's what my parents listened to on the radio. And so until I got my own car, there was no choice. So I have lots of country music on my iPod, or I really should say on my phone at this point. Like I love Garth Brooks. I like some of the old school Alan Jackson. So I just am all over the place with music. And then it said favorite movie. Probably my number one favorite movie is Last of the Mohicans. I just think it has the most beautiful scenery, beautiful music. Daniel Day-Lewis could be one of my adult crushes, especially in that movie. I kind of go for like that male who's gonna like save the day kind of a thing. I don't know. So Last of the Mohicans is one of my favorite movies. I had been able to do part-time teaching for I think the first 4 years of Cora's life. And so I love the fall. I miss the fall. In California, we don't get fall, at least in my opinion. So I was lucky enough, 2 of those falls, we went back to North Carolina and Tennessee. And I was able to go to the state park in North Carolina where that was filmed. So beautiful. Last of the Mohicans, to me, has the best scenery. And I just think it has a well-rounded story. It's got a little bit of everything for every person. So Last of the Mohicans is definitely me. So anyway, again, thank you Nancy and Janny and Bless Grandma for nominating me. And again, I will link those ladies down below. I don't think in my sort of smaller circle of people that we kind of always comment and on each other's stuff, I think everybody's gotten tagged for this. So I don't think I have anybody to tag. But anyway, I just feel so blessed to be on YouTube and to have some friends. And I just really enjoy watching people's videos and commenting. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend.